Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today. My name is Ron Kraft. I am with WorkMax, and I'm going to be going through today this webinar to talk about rolling out a successful time tracking solution. I appreciate you taking some time today and joining. So as we go through this today, just a quick little intro on myself. My name is Ron Kraft. I've been with the company for just over 7 years. And I do the product demos, and I help customers to really take advantage of technology and implementing time tracking solutions with their business processes, helping to save time, money, resources, streamlining and automating those processes to get better accuracy with the data. So today, our focus is on how to implement a successful time tracking system using WorkMax, which is mobile time tracking. Now, as part of that, WorkMax, we also do have some additional features and functions to really consolidate multiple areas of business into just one location, one app that you're using, time being one of those, okay? So on the time tracking here, this is just a quick high level. We'll dive into the product a little bit more and show you what that looks like. But we do things like the GPS for validating and verifying, making sure guys are on site. There's facial recognition as well to help eliminate any buddy punching. Spanish capabilities for those employees that do speak Spanish as well. All of this also integrates with your accounting system that I'll show you. Now, another piece to rolling out a successful time tracking is being able to capture all of that additional detail from the field, more than just their hours and time, but also things like daily logs, change orders, safety forms, toolbox talks, compliance forms. That's part of WorkMax. One other piece to our system as well is being able to help track and manage your assets or equipment. Knowing who has it, where is it, when is it scheduled? When is it due back? You can actually log time, hours, usage to equipment as well. So another piece to our mobile platform. And then the last area of our system is what we call Insight. Now, Insight is kind of like the jet fuel of WorkMax, where we take that data that we capture, but then give you real-time visibility for job progress and productivity. So there's dashboards that are showing you budgeted versus actual, what's completed, what's remaining. So we'll jump in here to the product. We'll switch back here in the end as we wrap up. There's a couple of things I also want to talk about. We'll go through some Q&A as well, time permitting. So if you do have questions, please feel free just to put those into the questions box within the GoToMeeting. Now, everyone's cameras and microphones are muted. You should be able to see me, but please do enter any questions that you might have, and we'll answer those. So having said that, let's go ahead and jump into WorkMax. So WorkMax is a cloud platform, and there's kind of two sides here to the system, where first, this is what we call the control center. All right, now this is where, for those in the office, where you're able to log in online and view all of that data as it's submitted from the field. Okay, now this is web-based, so you can access this from anywhere at any time. The other side of the system is the mobile app. All right, now this is what they use in the field to clock in, report their time. A couple of quick things about the mobile app is, one, the mobile app, it does work offline. All right, so even if they're in an area where there's no signal, that's not a problem. They can still use the app. And when they do get back in range, they do get a signal, it'll just update and sync and send back to the office. And then also, as you saw on that the slide previously, that the mobile app is also available in Spanish. So if needed, if you have employees that are Spanish speaking, that's a setting that you can turn on, which is employee specific, but it makes the app available to them in Spanish. So just easier for them to follow along, know where to go, what to do. And that's just a setting that you can turn on if needed. Okay. Now, again, our focus today is how to roll out a successful time tracking app, right? And there's really kind of two sides that we need to focus on: the field, right? Those guys in the field that are going to be using that, but also the office side, you know, being able to see that information in real time. How do we manage that? How do we edit that? How do we, you know, process that for payroll? okay? So I want to be showing kind of the two sides of the system, and then again, those additional features to really consolidate these different multiple areas into just one platform, right? Now I'm going to start here with the mobile app, and I'm going to go ahead and just pull up my phone right here on my desk. All right, so we've got the WorkMax app installed, okay? Now we open it up, and it's a simple pin pad. All right, each employee is assigned a pin. In WorkMax, we do have multiple workflows as to how we collect the data. This can be done individually, okay? Each employee can just clock in and out on their own, or this can be done on a dedicated device. You know, maybe it's a tablet or an iPad that the foreman has, or it's just at the job site, and then everyone uses that device to punch in. Or we also can do this at a crew level. Okay, so the foreman, they can just clock in their entire group and go to work that way. All right, I'm going to show you a few of those options. If we start here just as an individual employee, okay, let's say we've got George here who's going to clock in. All right, so George goes to clock in, and right away we get our confirmation page. Okay, you'll notice the camera turns on because we do the facial recognition, make sure there's no buddy punching, things like that. Now, right here, this is where they can select which job, which project, which location are they working, all right? Everything in our system is permission-based. So that means that you control what they can see and do on the app, all right? Now, this is critical when you have either multiple groups, different divisions, different employees. You want to make sure that the right information is being reported on, right? I only want these guys working these jobs. I only want those guys working those jobs. So you have full control to manage or assign what they can see and do within the system, okay? Now, for example, I might have 100 active jobs in my system, but I've only assigned these few to George, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select one of these jobs, and then they can select their task or their code, right? What are they doing while they're there, right? Now, these would be your codes that we pull over from your accounting system. WorkMax integrates with over 100 different accounting systems and ERPs, right? Whether it is Foundation, whether it's Sage, Viewpoint, Computeries, QuickBooks, Acumatica, we are able to make that integration and import all of that data, okay? So these would be your codes. But these codes can also be job specific, okay? So depending on the project that they select, only those associated codes would be available, all right? Again, making sure that the right information is being reported on. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these codes and then just confirm. Okay, now that's complete, and it sends the data back to the office. All right, so just a couple simple steps. They put their PIN number in, they select the job and the code, and then just confirm. Now, back here in this control center, okay, let's say we're back in the office. All right, we're going to go here to the time section. And if we're looking at today's date, there we go. There's George. He's just clocked into this job. Here's what he's doing, date, time. So it's automated and in real time that you see that back in the office. Okay. Again, our goal here is just to streamline and automate those processes, getting better accuracy with the data, especially if you're coming from paper or manual time tracking, whether that's written down on paper or it's maybe on an Excel spreadsheet. Here, it's 2 to 3 seconds. The guys are just clocking in on the app and you're seeing it in the office. Now, a couple of things to point out. Here on the left-hand side, you're gonna notice there are these tags, okay? So these are alerts about the details of those records. Anything that's red is an alert that's telling you that there's a problem, okay? It's something that doesn't match up. For example, GPS, okay? We wanna make sure that they're actually on site, okay? So if I see that this is red, that's telling me that he's clocked in, but he's not at the job site, all right? So if I select that record, scroll down, and then look at those details. Okay, here we go. There's the GPS map. There's the job site and the geofence around that job site. But all the way down here, okay, there's George clocked in 6.5 miles away. Okay, so getting that visibility in the field, making sure guys are actually on site. Okay. Now the other one, we took a picture when we clocked in. All right, so if I see that this is red, that's telling me that whoever's clocked in does not match the picture for George. So again, if we scroll down, look at those details. Okay, now there's George. That's who's supposed to be clocked in, but this is the guy who did clock in. All right, so what WorkMax does, it's actually comparing these images, and then it will alert you if it's not a match. Okay, now this is not required. I mean, we could turn that off if it's not needed. There's also no added cost for it. It's just whether or not we want to use that. Our goal is just to help validate and verify the data. Okay. So once the data is here in the system, if you do need to make any changes or corrections, maybe that's the wrong code or the wrong job, you just select that record, click edit, and now you can change the date, the time, the job, the code, anything, just all right there. Okay, so you do have full access to manage the data. Okay, now again, coming back to our topic, rolling out a successful time tracking system. All right, so we've talked about on the field side, using the mobile app just to quickly clock in, and then on the office side, we're seeing that here in real time. Okay, now one thing that is critical and key when implementing a new solution is getting that adoption in the field, right? Making sure that the guys are actually using it. So one of the tools or one of the features of WorkMax is if we go back here to the mobile app and we open it up, in the top right-hand corner right here, this is where when they install the app, they can click and then get access to the training center. And this is where we give them video tutorials, step-by-step instructions on how to use the app. Hey, you're an individual, you're gonna be clocking in, great. Just click right here, watch this video, and we'll show you how to do it, okay? You're a manager, you're gonna be clocking in for your crew, perfect. Click right here, watch the video. So this is helpful when you're rolling this out to the guys in the field where you've already got those training resources available to them. One thing that I mentioned earlier on in the PowerPoint on the slide was that the mobile app is also available in Spanish. If I put in a different PIN number here, so you can see here I've got Pedro who's going to clock in. When he goes to clock in, now the entire app is in Spanish. All right. So again, that just makes it easier for them to follow along, know where to go, what to do. If I go back here and put in a different PIN number, right, it flips it back to English, okay? So that's employee specific if you need that, okay? Now, part of rolling out a successful time tracking system is having a solution that gives you the details, the information that you need, right? More than just the hours and time. So that's where these other modules of WorkMax come in. All right, I'm going to click over here real quick just to our forms piece. Forms is where you're able to come in and build unlimited custom forms, okay? You also have access to our library of pre-built forms as well. There's over 100 forms in our system here. Things like change orders, daily logs, expense and reimbursement form, inspection forms, injury, toolbox talks, right? So there's actually an entire year of toolbox talks that you would have access to. But what happens is we build these forms in this control center. They then become available on the mobile app, all right? Now here's just a quick example. This is a daily report where it's gonna pull in the job details. They can put in work logs, right? Maybe you need more notes, more detail. You want them to report materials and quantities. This will actually do calculations as well. They can attach pictures to this form, unlimited pictures and video. Questions that you build into the form can also be conditional. So depending on how they respond, it might require more detail. Like this question, any accidents on site today? If I say yes, okay, well now it's going to require me to fill out an injury report, right? So there's logic behind these questions and forms. Now the really cool thing is with these forms is there are some settings that we can apply to these forms. If I come here to this build section, so this is going to show me all of the forms I've already built, or I can just click new to build a new one. I'm going to take this form, this daily report here that I built. Okay, so here's this form with all the different questions and fields that I built into it. But I'm going to come here and say, I need this form to be required for these employees when they clock out for the day. Okay, now maybe it's my foreman, all right? So now when these guys go to clock out, it won't let them clock out until they fill out their daily. Okay, so we can require forms when they clock in or when they clock out. That way you're getting that information back when you need it, and not at the end of the week when those guys are scrambling and trying to remember who did what and when for how long. Or from the office, you're having to get after those guys. Hey, we need your forms, we need your reports, we need your dailies. No, here we can just turn this setting on and we can require that when they clock in or out. Now you don't have to use this setting. They could still fill out a report or a daily at any time. This though is just going to require it in that clock in, clock out workflow. We could also take this a step further. We could then say, hey, when that form gets filled out, I need a copy of that automatically emailed to this individual or to multiple, right? To the PM, to the super, to the office, whoever, okay? So you can receive an automated email copy of that as well. Now, you're gonna get a copy of all of those completed forms right here under this completed section, right? So this now is kind of like your digital archive, right? This is where you can go back and search previous days, weeks, months, years. If there's ever any questions on a job, you can go back to that project on that date and then pull up that form. So here's this daily report that got submitted. There's the job details. Here's their work logs, quantities, pictures, notes, signatures, and now you can print this off. You can download it, save it, do whatever you need to, right? So again, just an easy way to capture all of that additional detail all through the same app that they're already using to clock in and out and report their time. So rolling out a successful time tracking system is more than just capturing hours. It's also being able to get all that additional detail as well, and being able to consolidate these multiple areas just into one location, right? We're not having to use one app to do this part of it, and then I've got to use this other app to do this piece, and then I got to fill out this paper form to do that part of it. Here we can bring that all together into one app. Okay. A couple other pieces here just to touch on with WorkMax of how we can roll out a successful time tracking and being able to get all that additional detail. Assets, we touched on that briefly in the PowerPoint. I want to just go over that a little bit. Assets is equipment, all right, where you'll notice there is also the option or the ability where they can tag equipment to a time record. If that's billable time that you're trying to capture, we can do so. They can tag equipment with that time record. Here under the asset module, this is where it's going to give you this digital inventory or a list of all of your equipment and tools. We can get pretty detailed information with these items. This is designed just to help keep track of and manage who has it, where is it, when is it scheduled, when is it due back, right? So being able to track all of your equipment and tools, report usage on those items. We had this piece of equipment at this job site for this many hours, and here's what the meter reading was. Right. Under assignment, this is where it's going to show you this overview of who has it, where is it, and when is it scheduled. So now I can just quickly filter or do a search. Hey, I'm just trying to see where is this one piece of equipment. Okay, Aaron has it at this job site and it's going to be due back on this date, right? Or I just need to see all of the equipment that is at this job site. Okay, there's everything that's there, all right? So assets is just an easy way to keep track of your tools, your equipment, log time and hours and usage to that, and then manage who has it and where is it. Now, all of this data that we've captured through the system, just having these guys clock in and out on the app, we're also able to get additional levels of detail. You'll notice here that there's also some additional fields for units or production, okay? So we can capture production units where, hey, you were doing this. Well, how many square feet of that did you do? How many linear feet of that did you do? How many cubic yards of whatever? How many XYZs did you install? Okay, because if we do, and if we can capture that production unit, that then is where we're able to come over here to Insight. Now, Insight is, like I mentioned earlier, kind of that jet fuel of WorkMax, because we take that data and give you these productivity dashboards showing budgeted versus actual, what's completed, what's remaining, all right? Now, here's a quick example. I've got this Sunridge Condos job, okay? Now, this is the entire project broken down by task with the budgeted hours and units, all right? Now, these units, again, this could be so many square feet of this, so many tons of whatever, so many XYZs that have to be installed, right? Whatever the unit is. But based off of what's been completed, all right, what's been reported from the field, just having those guys clocking in and out on the app, and we can capture those production units. Here now is where we can take this data and then analyze it to give you what your current pace is. All right, how many are we averaging per hour? And where does that put us as far as a trend? Okay, now you can see here, if we continue at this same pace on this task, we're gonna end up over budget by that many hours, okay? Now the really, really cool thing is that this data, what we're looking at, this is live. You can see here, this was updated just 1 minute ago, right? So we're not having to wait till after payroll, a week later or more, to find out that we're behind, right? So job progress and productivity, giving you this visibility of these dashboards, and all of this comes just from having the guys clock in and out on the app. So super simple and easy for the guys in the field, but powerful back in the office where we need it. Okay, so the WorkMax platform is truly designed to be that data collection tool for construction, where not only are we capturing those time and hours, which if that is all that we need and want, great. But we want to make sure that you're aware of these other tools that can be and are very, very helpful and beneficial as well to capture all of this additional detail, right? And again, consolidating, bringing all of this together in just one app that the guys have to use, and they're not having to use multiple systems, multiple programs, multiple spreadsheets, right? All of this is just in one single app. Okay. Now, all of this data as well, like I said, we go through and we can integrate with your accounting system, with your payroll, with your ERP. The system also is configurable where we'll set up these different settings to match your business. What are the different user roles? Who needs access to what? We can also customize it with your specific shift rules, overtime rules, and then even create multiple rules and apply them to different groups or to different jobs. Are you union? Do you work with multiple union? Are those rules different? That's just fine in WorkMax. We can handle that. But that way, all of that is being processed for you, okay? And it's not being left up to the guys to decide what's regular time, what's overtime, double time, things like that. Okay, all right, so let's switch back over here. I'm gonna, with WorkMax, and let's go back to the slide here and switch the screen. So WorkMax is part of the foundation software family. We are a foundation company, we're a foundation product. So foundation software is actually, it's an accounting software specifically for construction. As a product of foundation, WorkMax is specifically the data collection tool for time tracking, right? So we feed that data into Foundation, or like I said, into your accounting software, whether that's Sage, Viewpoint, Computeries, QuickBooks, Acumen, you know, whatever, right? But we also want to make sure you're aware of our other products. So, you know, if needed, there's a fit there. It's, again, nice to have that continuity and integration between systems. So foundation software is construction, accounting software for construction. Another company, or I'm sorry, product of Foundation is our HQ suite. Now this is going to be focused more on our project management. There is what we call Crew HQ, so this is going to be for like scheduling, and also we have a Safety HQ for you know, safety documentation and trainings. We also are a payroll service as well, payroll for construction. So if you outsource your payroll and you don't want to do that in-house, payroll for construction can help you there. We handle all of the payroll side of that more than just the accounting. Two other products of Foundation, just so that we are aware. McCormick is an estimating software for electrical, takeoff, and Estimating Edge is also estimating and takeoff for roofing, interior walls. They also do, I think, flooring and painting as well. Okay, so that is the Foundation software family. WorkMax is a part of that. Now you're not required to use any and all of these altogether, but we again want to make sure that you're aware of what is available. So as we wrap up here, you know, any questions, you know, feel free just to type those into the box. My contact information is here. If you would like a more one-on-one presentation or demo where we can sit down and really get to know you and your business needs, we can then customize and tailor a demo to that and show you what that will look like for your business and how WorkMax might be able to help you. So with that, we'll go ahead and open it up a little bit here for some Q&A. Let's go see here. Okay, we've got a couple of questions. Let me look here. Is it a two-way integration with Sage? So thanks. Let me go ahead and, so with WorkMax, when we create your account, we do an integration with your accounting system. In this case, Luis with Sage. So here we use our integration tool called ConnectMax. Okay, now this is kind of like the bridge between your accounting system and WorkMax. Okay, and this is going to be the same whether it's Sage, Foundation, Computeries, whatever. All right. What we do is we use this tool and we make a direct connection to the database for your accounting system. Okay. Now this then allows us just to automatically import all of your jobs, all of your codes, all of your employee data. Right? And it is a direct connection. So now going forward, anytime you add a new job in Sage, or you add a new employee, or you inactivate a job, this piece here will pull that over to WorkMax automatically. Okay, so there's no double entry. You don't have to download anything. This just runs behind the scenes. Okay, so that's how we get the data into WorkMax. Then we use WorkMax to collect the data, right? Just like what we did here with George. He's clocking in, we're seeing that in this control center. Now, when you're ready, at the end of the week or at the end of the pay period, we then need to get that data back to your accounting system or to payroll. So then we use this same tool, but now we export the data, okay? All of the records are already in the system, all right? So there's no manual entry or anything like that. We're just putting in the date range that you need and export. Okay, now this is going to download a formatted CSV file or an Excel file specific for your accounting system. And then you just take that file and upload that or import that right back into Sage. Okay, so literally just a couple clicks of a button and we're done. All right, so that's kind of what the data flow looks like. We use this tool, like I said, to make that connection where we can import the data from your accounting system, and that's a direct connection that's automated. Then we use WorkMax to collect that data, and when you're ready, we just come back here and export the data. Okay. Okay, Matthew had a question. Can a travel policy be associated with each different job site so travel time is automatically calculated? Yeah, that's quite common. We do see that with customers where you could have a travel code that they can clock into to capture that time, right? And then you can tie that to the job. So yeah, that's easily done. Does it handle travel pay? So in WorkMax, there are some additional custom fields that you can use. If I come here under the settings, and here you'll see there are these custom fields. I'm using one of those for a different job classification or trade, right? I need to know, was that work done as a laborer or as a machine operator, right? Because there might be different rates or wages that come with that, okay? So you could create one and call it, whoops, if I can type right, travel pay. And I can do a simple yes, no. Another example of this would be per diem. Some companies might want to know or be able to tag records with per diem. So I'm just going to create this field. Now, when I click on save, now you can see I have that as an available option to be tagged with those records. Okay. Now, one thing to clarify, in WorkMax, we don't do anything by way of dollars. Okay, there are no rates or wages or billing in the system. Okay, we are just the data collection tool. We're collecting hours, but we tag those hours to jobs, codes, employees, additional levels like this here. So that way, when this data gets back to your accounting system, it then knows the appropriate rates and wages and billing to apply. Does that make sense? So yes, we can tag the data with these additional levels of detail if needed. Okay. Let's see, will you be emailing this recording? Yes, we do have this recorded, so we'll send this out. I'd like to share with some others in the company. Excellent presentation, thank you. Thank you, Chris, I appreciate that feedback. So yes, this demo here that we've gone through, it is recorded and it will be available. We will email that out. My contact information as well. So if you do want to have that follow-up one-on-one, would love to have that conversation with you and see how we could help, okay? Any other last-minute questions here before we wrap up? I'll bring my contact information up again just so you guys have that right there. Wow, that's a giant picture of me. I need to change that. I'm like zoomed in, or they're zoomed in. Whoever took my picture is zoomed in on me. Okay, well, thank you guys. I appreciate the time. It's been great visiting with you. Please reach out with any questions, and we will make this recording available and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a good one.